Hi everyone. So for this video we're going to be looking at a graph to evaluate some definite integrals. Alright, so if I look at part A here, it says we want to find from -4 to 1 of f of x. So really, let me see if I use a different color here. We're looking for the area under the curve of this section right here. So if you notice, that is a right triangle, and so if we're looking for that area here, that is going to be 1/2 base times height, right? So that's the area of a triangle. So in this case, it's going to be 1/2 times my base, which is here. So what is that? 3 times my height, which looks like it's 2. So looks like for that integral, you will get 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Okay, for part B, our bounds are now from 1 to 2. So let's see, 1 to 2 means I'm dealing with this small triangle here. So I'm going to approximate that area. And so that is also a triangle. So we're going to do 1/2 base times height again. In this case, my base is 1, right, looking at the bottom here. And my height is 3. So if I calculate that, that gives me 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. Alright, let's see, for part C, where our bounds are now from 1 to 5. So let's see, what does that look like? Oh, we're going to have to erase this one. So 1 to 5 is from here to here, which means I'm looking at all of this right there. So that is a trapezoid. If you remember, the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 h b1 plus b2, so your two bases there. Okay, so we have, let me scooch up just a little bit. We have 1/2 times the height. So let's take a look. The height, how tall is this? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So the height is 3. And then we're going to add our two bases. So remember, on a trapezoid, we have the bottom base and we have the top base. So the bottom base here looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top is 2. So we're going to be adding 4 plus 2. And let's see, that gives me 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. Alright, for part D, we're going from -4 to 5. Ooh, okay, so we're going, oh, and by the way, these are all positive because they are above the x-axis. I don't think I said that earlier, but I'm mentioning that now because from -4 to 5, we are going to look at this area. We're going to add it to this area that we see here, and we're going to add it to this one. So there are 3 parts here. The nice thing is we already know what it is from -4 to -1. What was that? That was 3. And we already know from 1 to 5, which we just did, was 9. So for this integral, this is the same thing as saying from -4 to -1 f of x dx plus we're going to have to find -1 to 1. That's going to be the new one here that we have, plus the 1 to 5. So we could break it up just a little bit. So there are 3 pieces here. Luckily we know 2 of the 3, so let's talk about how to find this right here. So the first thing is, let me erase this so that we can kind of see a little bit more. Don't have a lot of room. We know that it's going to be 3 plus whatever that middle part is, plus the area of the last one, which we said was 9. So we're going to try to find what this part is, okay? And so if you notice, this is a semicircle. And so the area of a circle is pi r squared, right? And because it's only half a circle, really we're going to take half of that. And so if I'm looking at this semicircle, what is the radius? Well, the radius, if this is the center, is 1. So this is the same thing as 1/2 times pi times 1 squared. So that gives me pi over 2. So that's the last area here that we need. And we're just going to simplify this a little bit further just to make it look nice. So the 9 and the 3 give me 12. And then we're just going to leave it as pi over 2. So that is the combined total. Oh, and I made a mistake. It's not just pi over 2. It's negative, right, because it's below. And so let's go back here. So instead of a plus, it's a minus. Oh, caught myself on that one. All right, part E. So we're going from 4 to 2, f of x. Now, remember, we want to be able to, whenever we're doing these bounds, we usually start with a smaller number on the bottom. So 4 to 2 doesn't really make sense. It's really from 2 to 4. But because we switched it, we're using the negation property now. So we got to have that negative there. And so now let's take a look at what is it looking like from 2 to 4. So I'm going to have to erase some of this stuff here. Oh, hopefully I don't need any of that. Let's see. Alright, so from 2 to 4. Oh great, this is just a rectangle. So the area of that rectangle, so the base is 2, the height's 3, so I've got 6 there. So that is just negative 6. And then last one, part F, from negative 1 to 1. So let's take a look at where that is on the graph. Negative 1 to, oh, we did this one already. So that's nice. Alright, so remember it should be negative because it's below the x-axis. And we already calculated it to be pi over 2. So this is just negative pi over 2. And we are done.